streets. I keep 100 racks inside my jeans. I remember hitting them all with the whole team. Now niggas can't answer a call cause I'm hauling.
Hey YouTube, it's Lonely Bear here, and this is my first official video of the channel. Today we will be reacting to Llama Arts. I've watched Llama Arts in the past and actually liked some of their work, but I really haven't started back watching them, so I got a notification for one of their newest videos and I just said, hey, let's react to this, so let's get into it.
Looking for a new roommate is always a daunting task.
Question. Why is everyone able to, like, y'all see this? Anyone can look in through your window and through her window, or is that his reflection? Either way it go, his window shouldn't be wide open at night like that, cause like we got stalkers, we got predators, and other stuff of that nature. Who, like, wow. Let's get back.
Even though you interview and take the time to get to know that person, you don't truly find out who they are until you start living with them. I had begun searching for a roommate after I decided to leave my current residency. I was contacted a couple of hours after placing an ad on the Facebook Marketplace. The message read,
"Hey Chris, I'll be moving out of my current apartment this August and I'm looking to room with someone new, as my roommates are moving to California this year. I'm 27 and I'm currently going to school. When I'm not at school, I enjoy hiking and watching movies. I also apprentice at a taxidermy shop on the days I don't have class. Hope that's not weird. It's always been a fun hobby of mine. Anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you. Have a great day, Lunaire."
My first and most obvious reaction after reading the message was to check her profile. She was of medium height, had long, messy blonde hair and green eyes. In her profile picture, I saw her standing with a man and a woman shoulder to shoulder. They each adorned goofy grins and held up peace signs. Under the photo, the caption read, "Love my roommates."
That whole picture alone just looks creepy. And the way that she says it, "love my roommates," puts a lot of more creepy on the fact that she got this crazy looking face. And like, why your fingers do that? Who fingers do that? Like, it can't.
I smiled to myself and decided to send her a message back. The sun beat down on us as we hoisted.
Let me go back real quick. I don't think y'all seen this. I knew I wasn't crazy.
Decided to send her a message back.
Who is this lady in the back looking through this man's window? And I knew somebody else's window was open. Like, it's not. It's creepy, and I told you, predators and stalkers and creepy people looking through people's windows. See everything you do.
The sun beat down on us as we hoisted various objects to the second floor of our new apartment. It took us a couple days to get everything out of the moving trucks and into our new place, but as soon as we did, a wave of relief washed over our sweat-drenched and sore bodies. After a couple more hours of rearranging, we each grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat on the porch. We reminisced about old 90s cartoons and what video games we obsessed over as kids, and as the sun started to set, I truly felt relaxed and confident that things were going to work out. A week later, I started a new job for a construction company that was owned by a good friend of mine. As I was getting ready, I heard the front door swing open. I walked into the living room to see Lunaire and her friend David sliding in a large box.
So you don't think that's weird that they up this early doing this? And like all y'all talk to you ain't talk about her background. Y'all did was talk about games. Oh, okay.
"What you got there?" I asked. Through a strained grunt, she replied,
"I bought a freezer to store some of the animals I'm planning on using in my taxidermy work. I hope that's alright."
I was obviously hesitant at first.
That's just all weird. Like, ain't no other possible way. Like, that's just creepy. It's all creepy. She creepy.
Since there was no mention of this happening in the first place, but I eventually accepted and returned to my room to continue getting ready for work. I came home at around 9 p.m. after having a couple of beers with friends and noticed that the freezer was nestled snugly in the lower part of the pantry. A low hum could be heard reverberating off of the inner walls. I was curious to see what was inside, but didn't want to intrude on Lunaire's business, so I went into my room and changed into more comfortable clothing. After changing, I came back out into the kitchen and started making a sandwich. I opened the fridge and grabbed what I needed. As I turned around, I stubbed my toe on the edge of the island countertop and let out a long, exasperated grunt. Through my frustration, I slammed the fridge door shut and checked my toe to see if there was any bleeding. As I raised my head back up, I was greeted by a shadowy figure.
Creepy, creepy, creepy. Why is your door wide open? Do you not lock your doors? I didn't see that you locked your door when you got in the house. You did not lock your door. I'm just sorry.
Through my frustration, I slammed the fridge door shut and checked my toe to see if there was any bleeding. As I raised my head back up, I was greeted by a shadowy figure. Lunaire was standing in the doorway leading to her room. The darkness behind her almost seemed to envelop her.
Is everything okay?
She said in a
Creepy
deadpan tone. Shit, yeah, I'm sorry. I just slammed my toe into the corner of the countertop as I was making a sandwich. I hope I didn't wake you.
It's fine.
Creepy,
She said in the same deflated tone as before. She then turned around and walked back into the darkness of her room.
She hasn't tried to take off this hoodie yet. What you got under that hoodie?
I could tell that she was pissed, so I quietly made my sandwich and retreated back to my room as well, only hearing the low hum from the freezer as I closed my door. I had the next day off, so I was able to sleep in a little longer than usual. When I finally emerged from my room, I walked into the kitchen to make breakfast. As I opened the refrigerator, I noticed that the light wasn't turning on and there was a lack of cold air escaping from inside. I turned around and flipped the light switch to confirm my suspicion. Sure enough, the power was out. Damn it, I muttered under my breath. I walked over to Lunaire's room and knocked on her door to tell her about the power outage if she didn't already know, but there was no answer. I then remembered that she had classes that day and probably wasn't home. I walked back to the kitchen and past the pantry. As I did, I slipped on the floor but was able to catch myself on the countertop. What the? I angrily exclaimed as I looked down at the floor trying to figure out what I had slipped on. It was blood. It had started to leak from the corner of the freezer and pool onto the floor. I quickly tried to
Creepy.
open the freezer to find out the cause of the viscous liquid, but then I noticed that it had a padlock attached to it. I don't remember seeing that before. I ran out to my car and grabbed my toolbox from the back seat. I approached the freezer and set my tools down on the nearby countertop. I then pulled out a small pair of bolt cutters and snapped through the metal of the padlock. It fell to the ground with a large thud. I creaked open the top of the freezer and was greeted with a putrid stench that permeated my nostrils. I quickly pinched my nose and walked away gagging in response. I guess I should have realized that was gonna happen, I muttered to myself in between gags.
So you ain't gonna check the blood out though? You just gonna sit there and still cover your nose and go in the freezer.
After gaining my composure, I grabbed some gloves from under the sink and started taking inventory. I could see a couple of dead birds and plastic bags wedged into the corners of the freezer. I took each bag out and set them in the trash can nearby. That's when I noticed that the blood was coming from the corner of the larger black bag. I don't know why, but I decided to open the top of the bag and peer inside. I was greeted by large, milky white eyes, a swollen black tongue surrounded by cracked and bloated lips, and the matted hair of a human head. I swiftly dropped the bag and fell backwards onto the floor. My breathing had ceased to exist, and I grabbed the trash can next to me and expelled my disgust into it. I then ran out the door, got into my car, and called the police. As I sat in the interrogation room with a blanket over my shoulders, I couldn't help but think about the face I'd seen.
I bet you it was one of her roommates. That girl from the first picture. I bet you it was her. Where she at? Yeah, her right there. Crap, I gotta go back to it. That one. The one with the brown hair. It gotta be her. Go back to where we was at.
I pulled out my phone and looked at Lunaire's profile picture. It was her old roommate.
What I
The
tell
one
you.
she said was moving to California.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored. Of course, I just started.
When the detective entered the room, she started noticing any weird behavioral occurrences she said was moving to California.
She wasn't moving to California.
When the detective entered the room, she started the questioning process, asking me if I started noticing any weird behavioral occurrences around the apartment. Yeah, I stubbed my toe the other day and she creepily stood in the doorway. It seemed like she was pissed, but for some reason I had a strange feeling like she was
I feel like at the end of this video, he's gonna die next. I just feel like it. Let's get back into it.
concerned about something. That's when I connected the dots. She didn't come out into the kitchen because she heard me stub my toe. She came out into the kitchen because she thought I slammed the freezer instead of the fridge. A cold sweat started to form on my forehead as my surroundings became blurred. I could hear a low whine slowly starting to cover up the words of concern from the detective. As my vision started to clear, I could see another officer enter the room and whisper something into her ear as he handed her a piece of paper. "Do you have somewhere you could stay at?" she asked. "I mean, I was planning on staying with my parents. They live about 30 minutes outside of town." "Okay," she paused. "Listen, I don't want to worry you, but we found this picture inside of your apartment." She slid the piece of paper across the table, and I immediately felt like someone kicked me in the chest. The head of Lunaire's other roommate sat on the chair. In the background, scrawled on the wall with blood, read,
It's just
"Love my roommates.
she kills
All of
roommates.
them."
It plays it off like she takes a taxidermy class. What? That's it? That can't be it.
Does this ever happen to you? You find out about an awesome
Oh, that can't be it. Just like that.
was planning on staying with my parents. They live about 30 minutes outside of town. "Okay," she paused. "Listen, I don't want to worry you, but we found this picture inside of your apartment." She slid the piece of paper across the table, and I immediately felt like someone kicked me in the chest. The head of Lunaire's other roommate sat on the chair. In the background, scrawled,
Love all my roommates, all of them. So how many other roommates has she had before these two, and then before him, and before them? And she plays it off like she has a taxidermy class. Well, she must have, because she can't do all this on her own. But I know, like, serial killers will be serial killers. This is crazy. Well, guys, it's just been a lonely bear strolling through the neighborhood. Hope you enjoyed.